Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this workshop, the God Alignment Workshop. And my name is Angela Karanja, and I am a psychologist and a world-renowned psychologist and a best-selling author. And I work with women, especially over 45, who are parents. Sometimes I do have women who are not parents, but they are over 45 and they are feeling unfulfilled, they're feeling stuck. And we tend to deal with all things women over 45. Some of the women are parents, especially parents of young adults or teenagers. Some of them are aunties, some of them are naming, right? We have challenges, different challenges at this age. But this particular workshop, the God Alignment Workshop, is an introduction for us to talk about spaces and places where we feel unfulfilled, where we feel we're not thriving, where we feel that we are not making the headway that we thought we would be. Remember, maybe when you were a teenager or when you were younger and you thought, by the time I'm 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, I will be here. And then maybe at this point, you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not there. Or in some spaces, in some aspects, you are there, but you feel unfulfilled or you're feeling stuck. You're asking yourself, is this all? And you're saying, your heart is beating, saying, there must be more. And if that's you, I want to say to you today, yes, there is more for all of us, whether that is in your relationship with your significant other, there can be more. There is more. There can be more joy. There can be more experiences, ecstasies. There can be more, and there is more. Whether that's your relationship with your children or your siblings or your neighbors or your workmates, yes, there can be more, and there is more. How are your relationships doing? Would you say that you enjoy your relationships? Would you say that you enjoy the people you spend time with? Would you say you are happy? These days, when people tell me about their relationships and all that, I no longer ask someone, oh, how long have you been with this person? The question is, how happy are you? How fulfilled are you? Are you thriving where you are? The other question is, how is your health? And when I talk about health, we're talking about holistic health, both your psychological and your physical health. How is it? Would you say that you are at optimum health and wellness? Would you say that? How would you answer that question authentically and truthfully? How would you answer that question? The other question is your wealth. You know, a lot of people at this time, you thought, oh, maybe I would be this in my career, I would have done this, I would be this far. How would you say, how wealthy do you feel, or are you? Are you able to eat what you want when you want it, go places that you want to go when you want to? without what people say pinching pennies? How would you answer that? Now, this session, as all of our sessions, are about us unpicking what's not working for us and determining that we, as creators of our own realities, we can do this. In fact, as a matter of fact, earlier on today, I posted something that was quite profound. And what it said was, as human beings, we are so free, we can choose bondage. And the question I asked was, where have you chosen bondage instead of choosing freedom, to be free as the free being, as the free person that you were made to be? Remember, you and I were made in the image of the Maker, in the image of God, right? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? In this session, I'm going to be asking a lot of deep, penetrative questions. And the reason I'm doing this is so that we can unpick ourselves. And by the way, as I ask you these questions, I am asking myself, where am I? Where am I? Because we are always unfolding. We are in a journey of unfolding. Yeah? So today, as you can see, I haven't got any papers or any PowerPoints. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to allow inspiration to flow through me and over to you. And I want you to think as this as a conversation, not a monologue, not just me speaking to you. I want us to have a conversation. And that's why I'm inviting you to post some questions, to post some suggestions, to post your thoughts, so that we can have a dialogue. So when I was preparing this lesson, this session, which is one of many, and I would like you to join me as we deep dive into these three aspects of the God alignment. And I want you to think, when you think about God, when I think about God, I think about gratitude. 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 There is a lesson I learned a long time ago from one of my mentors. And what he said was, gratitude connects us to the source of everything. When you are in a state of gratitude, you feel gracious and you have grace. You are appreciative. And there's a difference between just being grateful and being appreciative. There's a difference. Now, when we talk about gratitude, again, for those of us who decide to join us for the deep dive, I'm going to be showing you levels of gratitude. Levels of gratitude that make you, that bring you to this point of fulfillment and thriving, and therefore you are aligned. And I know for most of us who've been communicating, especially on email, if you're not already on our email list, I want you to contact me and let's get you in there, because you get to hear firsthand information about what we are doing in this community. in this community with women over 45, we have both the company Raising Remarkable Teenagers as well as Women Weekend. Actually, I should have put the two of them at the back. Hold on a minute. I have Raising Remarkable Teenagers here. Hold on a minute. I'll place it here. Let's see, that's one of them. Can't see the other one there. Hold on. There we go. We've got Raising Remarkable Teenagers, and can't see where the other one is, and Lisa's not here. And we have Women Weekend. And just briefly, I'll tell you quickly what we do in our community. Raising Remarkable Teenagers is especially for parents who are intentional, who are on purpose to raise highly effective young people, highly effective teenagers, right? And then we have Women Weekend, and wellwomanweekend.com, we work with parents to recognize their worth, their influence, and how when you are healthy, both physically and psychologically, you are able to influence the trajectory of your teenager, the trajectory of your young person. It's a beautiful, we have retreats, we have wellness weekends where we discover who we are, our destiny, our legacy, right? As people before we are parents, right? Now that I've told you about those two companies, right, of the same company, but two different workshops that we do, right? Let's get back to gratitude. I want you to think about a time when you felt so grateful about something. What had happened? Were you in a praise mode? Did you know that gratitude or praise is the law of increase? When you're focused on gratitude, your brain neurocircuitry system attracts to you more things to be grateful for. Come on, I am feeling excited. I feel excited when I talk about this gratitude thing, and I will be speaking about the levels, the different deeper levels of gratitude. Yeah, so we have just being grateful. Grateful is you're feeling nice because something has happened. And there are three different levels. Of course, right now we've only got about an hour to talk about the God alignment, which is gratitude, and then oneness, and then destiny. And I'm gonna go over each one of them very quickly, because as you understand, it's almost impossible. Well, I don't like to use the word impossible, but it's unlikely that we can go deep into each one of these in just an hour, right? And that's why, once again, I will be inviting some of you to come with me in our Zoom sessions so that we can explore and dive deeper into these lessons. They are wonderfully life-changing, life-shifting. If you have the slightest intention the slightest intention to shift the needle, to shift the trajectory of your life, you want to come to these sessions. They are close-knit and powerful, right? So, gratitude. As a scientist, we know that when you're in the state of gratitude, when you're in a state of thanksgiving, when you're in that state where you are appreciating the goodness that has come to you, your focus brings healing in the cells of your body. Now remember, we're talking about alignment. Is this beginning to make sense? How gratitude, being in a state of gratitude, being in an attitude of gratitude, actually heals you on a very cellular level, both psychologically and physically. Because that focus on positivity, it brings healing. In fact, the good book, the Bible says that, like laughter, give thanks. It's like health, it gives health to your bones. And you know, sometimes when we read such books, we say, oh, that is just, you know, that's just, you know, it's like heresy, right? It's not. It's actually a very scientific fact. And I get excited talking about this. And like I said, so there are deeper levels of gratitude. You know, gratitude is not just smile and wave or thank you. You know, it's not that. It's deeply feeling satisfied, deeply feeling appreciative, deeply feeling positive, deeply knowing that things are well with me. I am blessed. So a lot of people ask, so how can you be in such an attitude when everything around you is going wrong? And those are some of the ideas we dive deep into in our community. It is possible to harness your focus. Like Napoleon Hill said, I see only the objective, the obstacles must give way. Yes, when you focus on the objective, the obstacles, the challenges must give way. That is the law. That is the law, right? Being in a state of gratitude where you don't criticize yourself, you don't criticize anyone, you just have appreciation for yourself and everything around you. Gratitude. Are you looking to be aligned and to feel fulfilled and to thrive in your relationships with your significant others, with relationships with your kids, relationships with everyone? Do you want to be that person that when you walk, people say, there is something. I know that I was blind, but now I see. I don't know what happened. Do you want to be that person? Do you want to be that person when you walk into a room, something happens, people get healed? And when we talk about healing, we're talking about renewed hope, renewed wellness, renewed spirits, even people getting healed physically. Gratitude. We will be talking about such instances, right? Now, I hope you're beginning to see this power of the God alignment. I want to give an example, and it's from the Bible. And I remember reading it and thinking, wow, these disciples, when they had hung out with Jesus, they walked in spaces and people got healed. They walked in spaces and they performed miracles. They had the God alignment. They had an understanding. Is that something you fancy? Is that something you would like to be? Or no? Let's chat. Now I'm going to move on to now the O, which is oneness. Oneness. When you think about oneness, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? You know, in a world where there's so much individualism, it's me, myself, and I. And then there's also the confusion that when we talk about oneness, it means you're enmeshed with other people. Oneness has nothing to do with being enmeshed with other people. Oneness can be you being like the sun. It still retains its identity, yet it lives in every one of us. Every one of us has experienced the power of the sun, the power of the light. Is that a good example for oneness? Being able to feel the joy of other people, being able to feel the pain of other people, being able to empathize, at the same time, being able to be compassionate enough to know that if someone is dragging themselves into the doldrums, you're saying, I'm not coming with you, not today, not today. Oneness is not about all of us wallowing in the shallows. Oneness is about us understanding our identity in all that is, that we, each one of us, is a spiritual being having a physical experience. That is oneness. So that when you look at someone who's different from you, you know that that's just a container. I mean, the other day I was speaking to some young people, to some adolescent young people, and one of them shouted, "Oh, you do have a God complex." And she said, "Oh, yeah, I know, I do have a God complex." And the rest of them said, "Oh, you shouldn't have a God complex." And I said, oh, you guys, hold up. I said to them, I want you to tell me something, and I know you are capable of telling me this. So I asked them, if you went to the ocean with a bucket of water and fetched the water, what is inside that bucket? Oh, they said, of course it's water. Now, if you went into the ocean and fetched water in a little cup, what would be that which is contained in the cup? Well, they said, of course it's water. Now, if you went to the ocean and fetched a truckload of water, what would be in that truckload of water? I mean, truckload, what would be in there? And they said water. Then I asked them the next question. What is the chemical composition of water? They said, of course, it's H2O. Right. So tell me, I asked them, the water in the bucket, what's the chemical composition of that water? And they said, H2O. And I asked them, what's the chemical composition of the liquid that's in the cup? They said, of course it's water, it's H2O. And I asked them, so what's the chemical composition of the liquid in the truck? They said, of course it is H2O. So I said to them, so the spirit in you, the you that is you, is the same, but we come in different containers. So in your hating, you're hating the container. And they were like, oh, we've never thought of it like that. You're hating the same thing that is you just because it is packaged in a different container. That may be the skin, the color of your skin, that may be how tall you are, that may be how you speak, that may be your gender identity, that may be any of the differences that as human beings we creatively come in. And the kids were like, wow. So when you're hating on another person, really, you're cutting yourself off that which is you, that which is a part of you. But imagine if you started understanding your oneness, loving your oneness, knowing that sometimes it is possible to walk hand in hand without seeing each other face to face, you know? You don't have to be best of friends, but you can understand that the same spirit that lives within that person is the same spirit that is me. And therefore, that person has a contribution they can make in my life, no matter how different they physically look like, no matter how different their ideologies are. And that's why the one commandment is love the Lord God with all your heart. And then love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love. Love. Again, oneness. I know for a lot of people, it is hard because of how you've been conditioned to look at different tribes, to look at different, how people look different, you know, the way they think differently. And unfortunately, we've been conditioned to hate. There is an American proverb that says, there's no tree so foolish as to have its branches fight amongst themselves. But as human beings, how often do we fight over, over differences of opinion, over differences of lifestyle, over differences of choices, and essentially cut ourselves off from this one that is all of us. And therefore fail to be the mighty, magnificent person that you can be. How often do we do that? Not knowing that all together we can enrich each other. How often do we do that? And now I'm not saying that you have to invite everyone to your party. No, it doesn't have to be that way. It is possible to love people even from afar, especially if they're hurting and harming you. Oneness. And as we talk about, for those of you who will be joining us in our deep dive, as we talk about oneness, you will discover how this oneness that we are talking about is so powerful. It allows you to gain favor, even from those people that claim to hate you. They know, they don't even understand why they are favoring you. When you're in this state of oneness, when you're in a state of love, these people, they begin to favor you, even though they claim to hate you, even though they claim that you're different from them. You begin to get favored. Come on. This is the beauty of oneness. And you want to understand this. If you're going to live a fulfilled and thriving life, I want to cry when I think about this, because I know of moments that people that thought that they hated you begin to throw favors at you. They don't even understand it themselves. They begin to mention your name in places and spaces where your favor continues to increase. Why? Because when you have love and the essence of love in you, it connects with their essence, the essence of love that is them. And they have no choice but to favor you. They have no choice but to favor you. Yeah? I'm going to be telling some very personal stories in the Zoom sessions. And a lot of people in our community have heard some of these stories, and they have their own stories to share about oneness. Where you hear literally the wealth of the wicked is being delivered to you, right? They favor, a table is prepared for you in the presence of your enemies. It doesn't happen by chance. It happens by you and I understanding the power of oneness. And we are going to be going deeper into this oneness, the levels of oneness, as well as the vibrational levels of oneness. How do you become one with the source of everything so that you attract all things requisite to the fulfillment of your desires? Because here's the thing about oneness. If you know even the littlest of science, is you know that nothing is created, nothing is destroyed. That means everything is already here. Now, imagine being one with everything. That means you have connections with everything. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? In my Father's house, there are many mansions. In my Father's house. What does that mean to you? Imagine being in your Father's house. You and your Father are one. What does that mean? That what your Father owns, you own. All the cattle on the mountains, you own. Oneness. Are you beginning to get it? Are you beginning to get it? Oneness. Oneness. Where? When there is no enemy within you. You heard this, when there's no enemy within me, the enemy without can do you no harm. When you're one, there is no enemy within you. And that's what I am talking about favors from, come on. This is so powerful, oneness. I'm gonna move on to destiny, the D part of God alignment. Are you beginning to see how many times we are stuck and unfulfilled because we don't understand this concept? I have talked about gratitude and how gratitude connects you to the source of everything. And therefore, when you are in a state of no gratitude, what does that mean? You're cutting yourself up from, you get it, right? And then oneness. When you are not in that state of oneness, what does that mean? You're singled out. Even in nature, even in the world, we know that the lone animal gets attacked quicker, faster, more than when you are with others. You're vulnerable, more vulnerable when you're there, single, even in fire, like when you have a fireplace, if you put apart all the logs, the fire goes out quicker. Oneness. In that oneness, I know a lot of people get confused about free will and each one of us being a special masterpiece. We're going to be talking about that. How you can be unique, yet part of the whole. Remember, I gave the example of water from the ocean. and the little different forms it takes, the different shapes it takes, depending on the creativity of you as a person. Because remember, you also are made in the image of God, so you can have your own personality, your own individuality, but the essence of you is spirit. And more than ever, we just need to recognize that. Now let's move over to destiny. One of the biggest reasons why a lot of people feel unfulfilled, so stuck, is because you're not living in your destiny. So when you think about living in your destiny, what is it that you're doing? Is it aligning with your deepest desires? The word desire in Greek means from the Father. Your desires, are you aligned with them? Are you doing on a daily basis what your heart sings when you do? Are you living in a way that expresses you as your unique self and fully coming alive? Are you living your destiny? Again, let's go back to your health. Would you say this is my ultimate way? Me as a vessel? Me as a vessel? That life is flowing through me? I'm doing it exuberantly. Would you say that? Are you doing what you always, your heart sings when you do this? Are you doing that? Are you adding value to people's lives? What's your destiny? For most of us here, we have children. Are your children seeing you living a fulfilled, happy life because of what you do? Do you look forward with wonder and excitement? You look forward to the day. A lot of people don't. Now, I'm not saying that when you're living in your destiny, there are no challenges. No, there are many challenges. Challenges, they come to strengthen us, right? They do come to strengthen us. But as we jump that hurdle, right? Are you jumping knowing this I love to do? I see the objective. And therefore, these obstacles doesn't matter. And this obstacle must give way. Are we seeing that? Destiny. Destiny. Now, I can see questions coming in about how do you discover your destiny? And this is a question I've heard from thousands of people. My question is, what makes your heart sing? And it doesn't have to be what you have been told, what has been drummed into you from when you were little. But it's that thing that when you think about when you're doing it, you actually come alive. You get excited even thinking about it. And a lot of us were lied to that, oh, you can't make money from your hobbies. You can't make money from your talents. You can't make money from doing things that you love. So we are conditioned to think that you can only make money from doing hard, arduous, boring stuff. No, it doesn't have to be that way. I'll tell you something. People who are following their destiny, right? People who are doing what they love, they will do even the mundane job with exuberance, right? They'll do that with exuberance. They'll be excited to do that. I don't know why my thing keeps showing up. I don't know why it's trying to keep showing up. But anyway, never mind, right? Where was I? Right. When you are living in your destiny, or even when you are on your way to living the life you were destined to live, you do things excitedly. You clean the floor, even though you're not the cleaner, you clean the floor excitedly. You clean the bathroom excitedly. Not because anyone is watching, or not because you're going to be given kudos, and not because that's your job, but you're excited. You know where you're going, and you know you will get there. You have seen the promised land. You work as if, let's say, you work as if you're working unto the Lord, you know. You are in service. You're looking at everything you do as if you're in service. And it's true. Everything you're doing, you're serving humanity. And if you look at it like that, it's such a fulfilling thought that makes your life a thriving one. Now, when we talk about destiny, it's not a one thing you discover and then that's it. It's not. Why? Because we are evolving and expanding human beings. Any successful person will tell you, I started with this, and there's an unfoldment that happens. Like when I started introducing myself, right? I mean, I have done all sorts of things, right? Obviously, we have Raising Remarkable Teenagers, and now we have workshops, Well Woman Weekend workshops, Well Woman Weekend. And there are so many other workshops that I do and we do here as a community. But everything is about service. Everything is about service. I did say to you as well, and as well, that I'm a best-selling author. I wrote a book on teen trafficking, how to help our young people be able to spot and stop, report, and even support their peers who are experiencing or have experienced exploitation. Talk about expansion, right? I could have just said, oh, I'm a psychologist, so I'm just gonna do this. But having identified my destiny is to serve, especially the younger generation. And because our younger generation do not live a separate life from us or from their parents, whilst I'm serving them, I was able to identify a need that the parents could also benefit from understanding some of the concepts, some of the psychological concepts that I know And they can learn from that and imbue that to their young people, to their children. And again, whilst I was doing that, I discovered another gap that in my community, the women in the community are mostly over 45, like myself, over 45. And what's happening within women over 45, a lot of us are in perimenopausal or menopausal period. And so what can I do? How can I serve them? Because another thing we discovered in our community is that a lot of our people as well, they began to present with the, these ailments, aches, and, some bizarre behavior that a lot of women think is normal in menopause. And I'm here saying to them, this is not normal. This is irregular. It should not have to be like that. Again, when it comes to alignment, when you are aligned, some of this crazy stuff don't have to happen. When you're living in alignment in your body and spirit, physically, psychologically, socially, a lot of these ailments and aches do not have to happen to you. But unfortunately, it has been normalized out there. Oh, when women reach this age, this is what happens. And we begin to believe the lies of the society. And what happens when we believe the lies of the society? We perish. We perish. Lack of knowledge. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. And these are conversations we have. And the thing is, when you're aching and ailing, tell me, when you're aching and ailing, how productive can you be? When you have this vessel that is ailing and aching and, absurd, how can it carry the spirit within it confidently, comfortably? But here is the thing. When we begin to understand that a lot of stuff that we have been told are not right, are not true, and that we can be creators, and we are creators of our own realities, then we rise to a different level of consciousness. And as we rise to a different level of consciousness, guess what we attract? Different stuff that is on that same level of consciousness. And as we rise, we attract what is on that level. As we rise, we attract what is on that level. As we rise, we attract what is on that level. And this is what alignment, this God alignment workshop wants to help you do. Now, of course, today we've covered the whole, I've shown you the whole route. And what I would like to do today is invite you to come with us as we go deeper into this. Now, this is what I would like you to do. I'm going to drop a link here. And I want you to contact me, either DM me, email me back. My email is Angie@raisingremarkableteenagers.com. you can find me on social media, Angela Karanja, on all social media, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. Just or even Google me. You can catch us on Google Maps and just email us, right? Email me and let me know that you want to come into the community so that we can go deeper. Because here's the thing. I know today has opened your eyes a little bit, and it has moved your consciousness that tad higher. What you know now is a bit different from what you knew before we had this conversation with you. True or true? I know, right? Even I'm feeling, remember when I started this conversation, I said, I'm going to allow spirit to flow through me and into you, right? So even I am feeling that I have risen that tad higher. And I want you to come with me as we continue to have these conversations, which I call conversations for change, right? Conversations for change. So if you feel you're ready to take the next step, I want you to email me, Angie@raisingremarkableteenagers.com, and just say next level, or deep dive, whichever way you want to put it, right? And let's go deep in this, because you honestly, if you want to get unstuck, if you want to live a fulfilled life, if you want to actually thrive, you're going to have to take these steps. You're going to have to do the reps. You're going to have to do the reps. But here is what I know. You've got it, and you are capable, and you are here because you want to learn. I want you to think of yourself as having, like these muscles. For example, everyone has a bicep, right? Everyone has a bicep. But then there are people who have, if you fold your bicep, like, you see, like, can you see it? Definition, right? Definition. Why? It just didn't happen. It took me going into a gym or whatever, if you do it at home or whatever, holding on to a weight, obviously not this one. You start with little weights, and then look, doing the reps, right? It just doesn't happen. Definition and growth just doesn't happen. And we know the saying that says, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I've given you the basic muscular layout. Now the question is, are you going to work that out, and grow in strength, grow in gratitude, grow in oneness, grow in your destiny? That's the question I have for you. Because if you want to get unstuck, if you want to live a fulfilled life, you are going to have to align with God, this God alignment. Gratitude, oneness, and destiny. There is no two ways about that. Do you know what? I am so excited that you're still here at this point, and I really look forward to meeting you on the inside, right? If you've got any questions, let me know. But for now, I am saying so much love to you, and thank you for being part of this conversation, being part of this session. And I am looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Right. Bye now. Bye-bye.